Hey, welcome back to my channel, IndieAuthor Jill. If you're new here, I am IndieAuthor Jill, and I read and review self-published and indie-published books. And today we are looking at Butterflies at Blue Hour. Um, it seems like a thick book, but like this only took me. I'm gonna say it took me a day to read. Actually, I started it last night and finished it today, but it took me less than 24 hours to finish this book. It just took me until last night to finally get around to actually reading it. Um, a lot's been happening personally. There were, my husband's aunt passed away, and he had to go up north for the funeral. I had to work, so I couldn't get the time off. But uh, anyway, yeah, there's just been a lot going on. Anyway, yeah, I finally got around to reading this. If, for those who don't know, I'm in the middle of like a lot of different reading challenges, and more reading challenges. Of course, Stephanie from QWERTY is going to be releasing her kid hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. She'll be announcing that June 7th, and that'll start on July 7th. Um, Liz from the 52 Book Club, who is the challenge creator for the 52 Book Club, uh, just uploaded their video for their reading challenge for the summer, and it's a board game, so can't wait to play that. And of course, I do uh, the reading challenges that Sarah from Freshly Read Books does, and this month's book was a book that is set at the farthest away from you, and that could be either time or distance. So I happen to have a space book, so for I'm reading um, quantum quantum space. Hang on, let me go get the book real quick. Yep, Quantum Space by Douglas Phillips. My husband and I are actually reading that together. So I'm reading that for that. This is going for um, the books moving forward. I will still be doing the bingo cards from some of the different uh, reading challenges I've done that I'm still doing. But moving forward, these will also be applied to other reading challenges that have been announced because not I can I can do that. Butterflies at Blue Hour. Let's focus on that. I'm going to make a whole different video where my next book will be chosen using this. Um, so we'll go from there. But for this video, I just want to talk about the Butterflies at Blue Hour. Okay, so Butterflies at Blue Hour by Sloane Maddern. Um, this was a cute romance. I don't know what is going on with the trend with step parents, but I'm totally here for it. I read a book, what was it? Anywhere Else. And in that she had a stepfather that he was quiet, but he was there and he was steady and he was reliable. Her mother was incredibly toxic. Um, but when she moved out, he when he heard that he drove over the he was an over the road trucker, and when he drove off one day, he didn't think much of it because it's like it's just another day, and he said goodbye to his stepdaughter, and she went off to school or whatever, and then he found out that she moved out. Well, when he found out she moved out, he called up his wife and said he wanted a divorce. Um, and it doesn't explicitly say, but because she didn't have that bad of a relationship with her stepdad, I always assumed that the reason he stayed was just because of his stepdaughter. He didn't want to leave her. He realized how toxic his new wife actually was, and especially how what toxic she was to her daughter, and he just didn't want her to be left alone with that all the time. So the only time she was left alone with it was when he was over the road. But when he was home, she at least had him. And then once she moved out, he realized, okay, well, I don't have to stick around anymore because she's figured it out and she's moved out. In another one, A White Like Christmas. Um, Again, it was a good stepdad, and we have the same thing here. Uh, Becky's mom is incredibly controlling and just over the top. Like, you have every reason not to like her, and you would be completely forgiven for not liking her. But even Becky points out that her stepdad is really great, and that she feels like she got lucky with her stepdad. Now, her biological father is in the picture and everything, and she does love her dad, and she does have a good relationship with him. But yeah, I love that she has a good relationship with both her dad and her stepdad. Like, she is such a daddy's girl, and I absolutely love it because I also am a daddy's girl. I am absolutely daddy's princess, and I own that title, and I will not let my brother have it. He can wrestle that crown from my dead cold hands. Graham is the sort of estranged son of the Murray family. So Graham's mom and dad own a pub. The pub was his grandparents, I believe, if I remember the little history right. I was I couldn't really care less about the family history. I was just so enraptured in Graham and Becky going back and forth because the chemistry they have is just so freaking cute. I can't stand it, and I love it so much. But anyway, so the pub's been in the family for a while, and Graham and maybe it was his mom and dad that opened it and owned it. Doesn't really matter. But Graham grew up in the kitchen and of this pub of Scabby's, and him and his brother both did, and he and his brother quickly became friends with a girl named Sarah, and Sarah was an only child and hated the idea of being an only child. So she kind of adopted Graham and Mike as her pseudo siblings. And she wrestles with them in the same way and teases them and gives them a hard time uh, in the same way that a sister would brothers. Um, so Graham moves off to London, and Mike understands why he left. And there's very few people who actually know why he left. And when he comes back, it's been over a decade since he's been back, and people are giving him the cold shoulder. Like, people are kind of treating him a little bit rough. Because they don't really know why he left, and they're human. So when a family that you have known forever suddenly falls apart, like all of a sudden uh one of the kids leaves and never comes back home, and nobody will tell you why he left in the first place or why he refuses to come back, people start kind of inventing their own reasons for what they think of why he came back. And it's kind of permeated to some of the new hires because they don't know Graham at all. They weren't there when Graham left. And so when he comes back, all they have is the rumors that everybody else has given them. And Becky, who is so incredibly loyal to Graham's parents and thinks the world of them, can't fathom why he would have any reason for leaving and never coming home. And so when he does finally come home, she is absolutely annoyed. Like, how dare you come back and show your face here when you haven't even been home? And so, very few people are willing to give him the benefit of the doubt of, okay, how long are you actually back? And eventually, he does tell him that he's only back for the summer. His father's had a heart attack. He needs the rest. So his mom rented a Winnebago, and she and her husband are going to go travel for the summer and take the summer to relax. Graham is going to take over the pub for the summer, and then he can go back to London if he wants. Um, and so at first, Becky is overjoyed by this. She's like, "Oh, I only have to endure a summer with this idiot. Great, wonderful, love that. Can't come soon enough." And as time goes on and they start to get to know each other, she's like, "Something's not adding up. The person that I'm talking to and the people I knew that are now on vacation and the way they talked about him, math ain't mathin'. Something's odd." But she refuses to not trust the parents who were hurt by Graham's departure. So she just kind of hangs on to this resentment in their uh on their behalf, even though they've never really told her why he left and why he didn't come back, just that he did leave and he doesn't come back. And it bothers them that he doesn't come back. But she doesn't understand the reasons why, and they won't tell her the reasons why. So she doesn't really know that there's any real justification for her um, animosity towards him. And it's not until she's talking to oh gosh, I forgot her name. Janie. So there's a Janine or something like that. Jean. Yeah. So Jean is an older lady. She has known Mike and Graham since they were babies. She used to babysit for them. And so they affectionately call her Aunt Jean. And she's a regular in the pub, and even Becky has gotten to know her and likes her quite well. And when she's talking, at one point, she's talking to Jean, and Jean realizes that Becky has developed an animosity towards him without really knowing what the situation is. And so she gets a little stern for the first time ever with Becky and tells her that there's not a single person in this world that has a right to judge Graham when they don't know what he's been through. And Becky kind of uh, she's a little stung by that because Jean's never spoken harshly to her. And so she excuses herself, and uh, Graham kind of sees the situation, like he sees them talking and he doesn't think anything of it because they're talking. They always talk. But when she rushes to the back and he notices the posture of Aunt Jean, he's like, something's not right. And so he goes in to check on Becky and make sure she's okay and everything. And Becky is just like, what in the world was he even doing back here? You know, and she's like, he was doing one of his routines, right? Preparing, and she looks around and realizes nothing's wrong with the kitchen. And she's like, there's no way he came back here just to check on me, right? And so as she's kind of mulling that over, she's realizing that maybe she doesn't have the full story. Maybe there's something to what Jean has just told her. And so this is where the shift kind of happens, where Graham and Becky are able to decide to kind of whatever was going on, whatever coldness was permeating between them because of whatever they've heard about each other, they decide to just break down those walls and start to actually get to know each other. And there's a lot that they're not willing to share with one another. There's a lot they're not willing to give each other right away. But as they develop their relationship and they decide, Becky is still convinced he's only here for the summer, and she decides, you know what? If he's here for the summer, fine. He's here for the summer, and I will make the most of what time we do have together to, learn about him and have a good summer. I'm gonna have a good summer this summer. I am determined, despite my parents, despite everything else going on, I am determined I'm gonna have a good summer this summer. And so they do end up having a really good summer to the point that um they're not really sure that they want to split up at the summer. So I mean, obviously that begs the question, like, she doesn't need the job at the Scabby. She does it, like, money is not an issue for her as much. She works because she enjoys working. And she enjoys being at Scabby. She also has a job where she does events. She's a photographer. So um she could leave and um go to London with him when he leaves, or he could just stay. I mean, his parents would love it if he stayed. But it they have to come up to with that decision of, if we don't want to end the summer with each other, then where does that leave us? You know. Um the only problem she has with London is that's where her mom is. And as much as she loves her sister and her stepdad, she really doesn't want to be that close to her mom. But they don't have to go to. They realize they don't even have to go to London either. They could go anywhere really. So that's the decisions that they have to make. There is not. It says butterflies. Okay, so hmm, one of my prompts does allow for bugs, but I think it has to be a picture of the bug on the cover and not in the title. I'd have to look and see if that would be if that is correct. It's definitely going to go for one of the reading challenges. But I think actually I'm going to use um, I think I'm going to use the color blue uh, for the rainbow challenge. Uh, so um, a link to the different reading challenges, the channels where I got the reading challenges will be linked in the description below, as well as a link to buy your own copy of Butterflies at Blue Hour. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you don't know what to comment, just comment. If you just want to let me know you were here and you made it to the end, um, let's do an emoji of a camera for Becky's photography skills. Okay? All right. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.